Hello everyone. In today's class, we will discuss how to make use of the arguments that are given to the main method. That is basically how to make use of the command line arguments. So let us quickly write a program to demonstrate the use of command line arguments. So let me begin a class and I'll name this class as sample2. So within the class, let me define the main method. So we know in Java, the main method is public static void main, and this takes a string type argument, which is a argument array, also called as argument vector. One thing to note here is the name of this argument can be any valid name. Basically, this can be any valid identifier which you can give. Okay, it need not to be necessarily ARGS like what I've given here. It can be like A or ARG or whatever it can be. Just make sure this should be a valid identifier. Typically, this is given as ARGS most of the time when you see in the programs. And this subscript indicates this is a array. Okay, this is a array. So basically, it holds an array of arguments. Hence, we also call this as a argument vector, and this is of type string. So any arguments the main function takes here will be treated as of type string. Now let us get inside the main, and within the main, what I will be doing in this program is whatever the arguments we supply to the main from the command line, those arguments I will print them one by one here. So before printing the arguments one by one, let me print a statement that will tell more about what is being done. So system.out.println, the arguments are, then close the double quote and then semicolon. Now, after this, let me begin a for loop for int I equals 0, I less than args dot length, where args is your argument array, dot length returns the length of the argument array. So basically the value of I should be less than the length of the array. Each time I'll increment I by 1, that is I'm writing I plus plus, the increment operator. Now within the for loop, let us print the arguments one by one, for which I will write args of I. Okay. Semicolon. So this will print this will print the arguments one by one. Basically, the loop iterates from 0 till the value of I is less than the length of the array. So when I is 0, it here basically prints arguments of index 0. That is the first argument will be printed. Then I increments and it becomes 1. And then in the second iteration, it prints args of 1. That is the second argument in the array. Likewise, it prints the arguments one by one. Let me close the loop, close the main method, and end the class definition. Now let us save this program quickly. So let me save this as sample2.java. So here I have to change this for all files. Okay. So I will save this program. Sorry. Sample2.java. Okay, now the program is saved. Let us Open the command prompt to quickly compile this program. So here is the program. Let us compile Java C sample2.java. Okay, the program is compiled. Now let us run the program Java C sample2. Now while you run the program, we must also supply the command line arguments. So let me supply some of the command line arguments. Say, let me supply arguments which are the names of the fruit. Say apple, sorry, apple space banana space chiku. Okay, and then I'll hit enter. You can see the arguments are apple, banana, and chiku. Each of the arguments are printed one by one. You can supply any time, any kind of arguments. You can even supply numbers, say 10, 20, 23, 45, 25, 64. Okay, so whatever the arguments you supply, that will be printed one by one. Okay, so basically the program is made to print the arguments one after the other. Okay, so if you are supplying numbers, even these numbers are treated as strings in the when you supply in the argument. If you are doing any operations on these numbers, make sure you convert these numbers to integers or whatever type that is required in the program. For example, if you are adding these numbers, which are actually the integers here, so make sure in the program you convert them from string to integer using a wrapper class. Okay, let me show you that as well. So if we are adding the two numbers from the command line, so in that case, the program would be something like this. So I'll remove this for loop and let me take two variables, one as a, and I will write integer dot parse int of args of 0, which represents the first argument in the argument list. That is one integer, one number. So that I will be converting to integer and I will be storing in the variable a. Then second number I will be taking from args of 1 and I'll be converting that to integer. Now finally we can directly print the sum like this, or we can do the sum first. Say int c equals a plus b, and then we can print c. The sum is concatenate c. Okay, so this is the program which takes two numbers from the command line and adds them and prints the sum. Now let me save the code and then go back to the terminal. Let us recompile the code for the changes. Java C sample2.java. Okay, now Java sample2. Okay, now here I'll be supplying two command line arguments. Let me supply numbers, two numbers 25 and 15. And you can see the sum is 40. Okay, 25 plus 15 together, it is 40. You must convert these numbers to integers in order to get the sum 40. If you do not convert, let me show you that as well. What will happen if you do not convert these numbers to integer? Okay, so in this case, what will happen is upon adding, the result what you get will be the concatenation, not the sum. Okay, let me compile. Oh, sorry. Sorry, here I made a mistake. I cannot assign string to integer. Or let me remove these statements, no problem. I can here directly write args of 0, here args of 1. Okay, let me save the code. Let me recompile. Okay, and let us run. Now let me give 25 and 15, but the result what we get is the concatenation of 25 and 15, that is 2515. Okay, 25 and 15 are concatenated. We won't get the sum if we do not convert the numbers from command line to from string to integer. So that is the reason we have to convert them from string to integer, and then we have to use it for making the addition. So previously I took two variables a and b. Instead, you can also write directly here. You can just write the wrapper class here, integer dot parse int of args of 0 plus integer dot parse int of args of 1, and then you can print the sum, which is stored in the integer variable c. Save. Let us quickly recompile. Then let us run once again. 25 and 15. The sum is 40. Okay, let us try with other numbers. Say 60 plus 35 is 95. So in this way, we can make use of the arguments from the command line. I hope you understood. Thanks for listening.
Yes.
Okay. So please like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel. If you have any doubts, you can post them in the comment section below. Thank you.